welcome back. Now, time for us to meet the Kajat guests so we get inside the house. I did very interested in this topic because a lot of things they happen to the girl child, especially for inside Wibodo, Nigeria. She now a development communication specialist where don't work with and consulted on behalf of various national and even international organizations on top development issues ranging from maternal and even child health, gender, youth development, peace building, post-conflict integration to civic responsibility, justice, and even human rights for inside various states across Nigeria. Now, also, she now the Chief Executive Officer of one of Africa's leading development communication agencies, where they call Arda. Now, under her leadership, Arda do actually grow into a top development communication agency where they actually consult on behalf of UNICEF, even the Worldwide Fund for Nature, WWF, UNOPS, she will tell us more about them, and various other international organizations where she don't actually work with. Very, very interesting and attractive profile. Such an honor to get this distinguished person inside the studio this morning. Join me, welcome Mrs. Alison, Data Phido. She now the Chief Executive Officer of one of the Africa's leading development communication agency, Arda. Good to have you in the house, ma'am.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
Very impressive profile, I must say.
I
wish I could read them out.
It's really kind of you to say.
I know, say for a woman of your caliber, it's not easy to get all those experience where you don't gather. But tell us really, what did make you decide to venture into that particular career where you're inside now?
You know, say some people, when they born you, God already puts certain ideas and talents in you. For me, now, I think injustice, they worry me. Even when I'm small, if I see any problem, somebody they suffer, it they bother me, it be like, make I do something. So that's that idea of always trying to help people, trying to assist people, trying to solve issues. So when I went into university, I studied theater arts. In our second year, they sent us into the community to do what they called in those days community theater. But it's really, these days we call it theater for development. And that opened my eyes to how you can use the creative arts to, push for development in your communities. We did some plays with local farmers, and I already saw how that, helps the farmers to start thinking, considering some of their issues and how to solve them. So I thought, this is a good thing to do with my degree once I'm done. So
this is really amazing. Now we'll talk about Arda just very shortly, but I just want, it is like a personal question
yes.
from me. Now, looking at your profile, under your leadership, you don't actually grow Arda into a top development communication agency. Now, looking at how Nigerian be, a lot of women, they come outside to cry for they are being victimized. They allow women grow in company. But you, not person, where you don't actually break through. And I know that there are men in this company, but you don't break through and create Arda, don't put Arda on a very international pedestal. Tell us how you actually do them. Are women really victimized too in Nigeria?
Of course they are. We are in a patriarchy, patriarchal society where our traditions, culture, everything sort of says that, women are inferior to men. And these are ingrained, the gender roles that we find ourselves occupying, just as a result of just being born a woman or being born a male. So a lot of victimization of women exists. You can't deny that. Right from the home to, the roles that society just places on you as a woman, as a mother. If you get married and you have children, obviously you won't be able to grow career-wise. Something has to give, If you're paying full attention to your home and your children, they're assuming you cannot pay full attention.
Well, you did it.
Well, I did because, I always believed that I was as good as any man, to be honest. I was raised to consider myself to be a human being first, with talents and gifts that God has given me, and that, the only limitation that I will have is the ones that I place of myself, and nobody can do that for
Now,
me.
if they look the girl child, because just as you talk now, it just brings to question a lot of things about the girl child, because we even read for inside our story today how the National Commissioner come outside, encourage every mama and papa, make sure say the girl child education and focus they on top of them so that we can be better people tomorrow and possibly reduce the child bride situation for inside our country. Now, even though we know say it be like say the girl child they has been kept aside in a way, but we still see a lot of women are still doing so much. We see a lot of women that are breadwinners. We see a lot of women that are trying so much, so hard. So a lot of the women now are being trafficked outside the country. Now they talk say over 30,000 Nigerian women have been deceived, taken out of their own country to other people's places to go do whether na prostitution they want go do or whether not to smuggle drugs. And we see all of this happening every day. If then talk say the girl child no need to do so much, how come there is still that pressure on the other side?
The girl child, from the time when them born you hear say you get plenty to do. If you are a first daughter, then tell you say that you go take care of everybody. Now you be second mama for house. If you be, even no matter the position you be, as long as you be girl, you are not allowed to go out to play with other children. Your brothers then go there outside. They play football, they shout, they play. Even if you were a gifted footballer, you are not allowed to go out and do it. You are told to sit with your legs crossed. You are told to come into the kitchen and help with the dinner. So, on top of that, if you are going to school, you also have to do your homework. You have to stay on top of your books and all that. So I think from time, it teaches us, or it encourages us to be strong, to do so much more. And that is coming back to your point about, all these are girls who are trafficked. Again, it's like, I have to do something for my family. Most of them come from homes where, there's poverty and there's need. So they're thinking, how do I help my family? And when they find someone who comes and says, I can get you a job in the UK as a house help, they say, why not? I'll do it. They tell them, they lie to them, they tell them, you can earn so much. They mention all these big dollars and pounds that you can earn as a house help in the UK or in America or places like in Europe. And so you think, oh my goodness, I'll do that. I'll be sending money home to my family for their upkeep. And so these girls get trafficked, they get deceived. And then when they get there, they find out that, this promised wonderful salary and all that doesn't really exist. And they find themselves in slavery, actually. Because the first thing that happens to most of them when they arrive is that they take their passports off of them. And when you have your passports taken away, it means that you are nobody in a strange land. Because you have no identity. That's the first war that you have to fight, is to know, how do you even tell anybody who you are? If you go outside and you're arrested, you have no identification, So they can just kill you, they can beat you up, kill you, treat you badly, and nobody would know. You are undocumented, And these are the messages that need to go to parents, who, don't misunderstand me, who love their daughters. It's just circumstances, and they're thinking, how can we make life better for ourselves? And sometimes even these recruiters say, oh, they'll send you to school or send you to learn a trade. So it's so good. The offer sounds so good that you'll be a fool to say you won't go. And, one of the things that might stop you is, I can't afford the fare. And they say, oh, never mind. We'll take care of that.
Wow.
Sorry, just to say something. I just want to talk more about this slavery. Now, they're currently involved in a particular project called domestic slavery. What do they actually do? Okay,
here's the thing. We found out that, like you said, the numbers are staggering of our people going abroad, seeking greener pastures, and then finding out that it just doesn't exist. So, but for our project, we are basing it. It's a pilot project, and we're basing it here in Lagos. We have a partner. And basically, we found out that there are communities, pockets of communities within Lagos State, where they come to recruit young girls, ages 15 to maybe 24, 25. and, mostly to the UK, to England, and with the offer of domestic work with big salaries. And so a lot of girls sign up for this, and they take them away. They say, "Oh, your future employer will pay for your transportation and your visa and all of that." So they get them maybe a visitor's visa, and then they go over there to be servants. They get there and they find out that the reality is different. They have no job. They have no say, actually. There's no time limit. You can start work maybe from 5 in the morning till 1, 2 in the, no days off. There are no perks, no holidays, and you are basically a slave. Sometimes it's so horrible to these girls that we found from people who have returned. There's no bedroom. You can sleep on the kitchen floor, in the corridor. And those countries are cold sometimes, So in the winter, you have no heating, nothing. And when some of them are leaving the home, they actually lock them. They
Inside.
put chains on them. They make them swear they can't ever leave the house. So they're like indoors. They're in prison. They're imprisoned. And I've not yet even talked about the ones who are sexually molested by their employers, who are like husbands or sons of the.
So your project now, what's in the project they try to
So
do?
our project is to try and get these communities to understand the risk involved in sending your young girls to Europe, thinking they are going to work. The reality for most of them, and I'm not saying every single person who's ever been to Europe, this happened to them, but majority. This is the experience that increasingly we're hearing, from young girls. They get there and it's not what they expected. So let's first of all tell people the truth, because these recruiting people, when they come, they paint these beautiful rosy pictures. But here's the deal, you girls and parents, this might happen. There's modern day slavery, and it's happening to a lot of young girls from Nigeria, from Lagos. And the risks are, you could, like we said, you lose your identity, and once you lose your identity, you're game for anybody to kill or beat or whatever. And then when you return, you find some of your mates that after years of slavery there, if you even manage to come back, you find your peers, people you grew up with, doing much better.
Better than you.
At least they have something. They have a hairdressing salon. They have, a kiosk or a shop, a small petty business shop. They're doing something. They're doing so much better. So the message, we're trying to package the message in a way that community members will accept it from us.
So more or less, you're trying to educate this community.
Right.
Now, let's take into consideration that this community in question, now actually community where they're very poor.
Yes.
So how you, because imagine coming to tell a poor man that don't steal. He will surely want steal, because you are not telling him that you can make
You know they give any other option than no thief.
So now there our own expertise come. You understand? We have over 22 years of experience in how to package message we go. There is a proverb say, if you want Pekin to swallow bitter pill, you go sweeten and put honey on top or something. So our own methodology now, we first of all attract people with entertaining formats, Okay. So we use drama, for example, proverbs, songs, whatever. Things that we learned from our oral tradition, as a matter of fact. Say for our tradition, all that storytelling, where they tell us, we're supposed to learn something from her. And all these children are happy to hear these stories, right? Every evening they'll sit around the auntie or grandma and she'll tell them, some of our folk tales. And those folk tales had, they always have messages, they have things for these kids to learn. So the same way we borrowed that idea in the way that we...
So that's the methodology you're using.
Yes.
Are you online so that volunteers can actually come in and help you guys?
Yes.
What's the online platform?
Apart from our website,
What will be the website?
www.ardaradio.net.
Okay, Arda.
ARDA radio.net.
Okay. So once they go there, they actually fill out any form or contact anybody as regards to this great initiative.
Exactly.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love am.